Welcome to HUMA 1302. My name is James Weatherford and I am your instructor. I've created this video to walk you through exactly how this course is structured online using Blackboard, and I'll point you to a few important documents that are going to help you understand how to complete your assignments, but I'll also walk you through kind of the technical things, what to expect when using Blackboard, and where to find important information. So when you log into our course, it'll look something like this, pretty much just like this. I am using my template, so some things may be a little bit different, but for the most part, what you see on your screen is going to be about 98% exactly what you will experience when you enter the course. I don't have any explicit dates marked here on this recording, but you'll probably see some explicit dates a little more obviously when you are logged into Blackboard. So on your left you see a list of menu options, and as you can see, we have the Start Course Here link, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Discussion Board, Movie Review Guidelines, and the Documentary Summary Response Guidelines, and the Exams link. Now, all of those links on your left are basically going to get you to places that are found on this main page as well. And so I've laid out the structure of the course on each of the folders for the 3 modules, and then as we dig deeper into those module folders, you'll see assignments and films to watch and things like that. So just as it says, Start Course Here, let's do that. You could get there by clicking over here on the left menu, or you could get there by clicking the Start Course Here link folder at the top of the page. I guess before we do that, this important information at the top where you see my face, not the best picture in the world, but you get the point. I think my hair is a little longer, my beard's a little longer, but such are the times with not really going to the barbershop much in the last few months. Anyway, my contact information is there, my email address, which is probably the best way to reach me, although I can respond quickly to non-grade related texts if you want to text that number, 415-895-0539. That is a Google Voice number, and you can text me there and I'll receive it quickly and respond quickly. But just to let you know, 24 hours is about the window maximum to expect for getting a response from me. But I'm usually pretty quick, because if I don't respond right away, I will probably forget. So I try to just, no matter what, if you reach out to me, I respond immediately as soon as I see it. So as I was saying, we could click here on the Start Course Here button link, and what you will see is some information here. Now what you're not seeing is me, the video that is going to actually be here at the top of the screen, which you will see when you log in and click the Start Course Here link. You will see the video you're watching, but the video is being made, so I can't put the video there, can I? So but what you most importantly will see right off at the very top, inclusive access, free ebook registration code. And it's not really free, but what this means is the cost for you to take this course includes paying for your ebook, and the ebook itself is included in the cost of the course. And so by using this link, you will obtain a registration code or a key that then, by clicking the big blue "This link" will take you to the McGraw-Hill platform, where you'll be prompted to register for the course, and then you will use that key and you will gain access to the ebook. This is imperative because we have quizzes and activities for the chapters in that book, and you can only do them by registering for the ebook. It's not to say you can't supplement what you have with the ebook access by getting the paper copy, but it's not going to help you complete the assignments. You'll have to have access to the ebook. So get the code, come back to this screen, click this link. I'm not going to click it right now because it's not going to do anything that's going to make sense in this recording, but once you get to the next screen, it's going to prompt you to register or sign in if you already have set up something with McGraw-Hill before, and then you can add the key once you've logged in. But you'll know if you're somebody who's used McGraw-Hill Connect before, you can access the site and add as many ebook registrations for different classes if you'd like. But this, for many of you, may be the very first time you do it. It's pretty simple. In fact, if you get confused, you can Google it. There's plenty of explanations about how to register for McGraw-Hill Connect if you get stumped. But it's pretty user intuitive. It'll walk you through. The only caution I'll give you now is that occasionally there are problems when you register and it doesn't sync properly with the Blackboard classroom that we're using. It's not a big deal, but what will happen is you'll do assignments there and they won't show up in the gradebook here on Blackboard. Now, ultimately, that is a problem in the long run, but it's an easy fix. But you'll have to contact McGraw-Hill Connect, and it's pretty easy to do. You can actually do it through an email, and they can get you synced back up with the course. There's nothing I can really do at that point, but I may bring it to your attention. If there's a problem syncing your work on McGraw-Hill Connect and Blackboard, I'll say, hey, you're having an issue. You need to talk to them. They'll fix it for you. The other reason why it may not be syncing is because you didn't actually pay for the ebook. Because there's an option to do like a 2-week kind of trial, but you're not supposed to do that because you'll be able to have a full access through the registration code that's provided with the course. So sometimes students do the 2-week trial, they don't set it up correctly, and then the trial expires, and once it expires, it's going to stop syncing your work because McGraw-Hill's not going to let you use their product for free. Anyway, it gets complicated. Most of that is the minutia that you can disregard. 99.9% of everyone is going to go to the inclusive access free ebook registration code link, get that link, and they're going to come back and they're going to set it up, and it's not going to be a problem. Occasionally there are some issues. If we have to cross that bridge later, then we'll cross that bridge later. So right away, day one, you have some expectations. I have some expectations of you, rather, and you need to first complete this discussion where you introduce yourself and you watch this video, and you're going to give an answer to the questions and talk about kind of what the speaker talks about. You're going to reference what is mentioned about the humanities and how it's actually been quite beneficial for this gentleman and his tech business. But you'll watch it, you'll answer that. I'll tell you now, all discussions consist of 3 posts. Your initial post, which is the first post, response to the prompt, and then you will respond to 2 separate classmates. Your response to the prompt and the questions, like you see here, these questions, that's 300 words, and then your response to 2 classmates will each be 150 words each. So a total of 600 words between your post and the other 2 follow-up posts that you'll do. Every discussion board is like that. We have 4 in this class, so we have this initial discussion, then we have 1 more in this module, then we have 1 in module 2, and then we have 1 at the very end of the course. So on the one hand, sure, it's only 4, but keep in mind this is a category that makes up 20% of your grade, so if you are missing 1, just keep in mind that's 5 total points of your overall grade in the class. So discussions are very important, and the way I grade them is pretty straightforward. And for the most part, I'll be honest with you, it's just kind of a pass-fail thing. I mean, if you're clearly doing the assignment the way that it's intended to be done, you're giving a thoughtful and critical reaction, and you're watching the videos or any other reading that's supposed to go along with it, and it's obvious that you're trying and you're thinking and you're engaging each other, and rarely do I have to even much step in, but occasionally I will. But for the most part, it just needs to be obvious and clear that you're doing the assignment, and then on top of that, each one is weighted at an equal percentage. It's technically 33.3 into an infinite 0.3333. So I round up. So let's say you only do one. I'm going to give you a 34. You just did the prompt and you didn't respond to your two classmates, then you only get a third of the 100 points. So let's say if you responded to two or your post, and then you responded to the prompt and one classmate, that would be 67, because 33.3 plus 33.3 is 66.6, and that sounds like the mark of the beast, so I'm going to round up to 67. That was a joke. Hopefully you understood it. So that's the way it'll go. So very important that you do all 3 posts. And then also in this first day of class, you're going to look at the syllabus and course plan. And here you will see typical syllabus stuff. But it explains what this course is about, that it's a survey of Western European American culture from the 17th through the 20th centuries, focusing on representative works of art, literature, music, and philosophy. Exploration of the relationship between individual values and those of various societies, past and present, in their historical context. Participation in selected cultural events in art, music, and theater. HUMA 1301 and 1302 need not be taken in sequence. Either courses meets the humanities 3-hour degree requirement. Okay, so all that is to say, that's what this course is all about. Here are the various skills that we will try to impart to you and help foster and cultivate through various means of activity in the class, and then specifically what you will gain from your understanding of the arts and humanities is laid out here, and then how is your grade determined. So like I was telling you before, 20% of your grade is the McGraw-Hill Connect. So anytime you see MHC, that's my abbreviation for McGraw-Hill Connect. Quizzes and activities, there's chapters 19 through 38 on that platform. You'll have to complete the quizzes and readings. That's worth 20 reading quizzes and activities, and you'll read the chapters on the ebook. 20% of your grade. And I've already mentioned that the discussions are 20% of your grade, and there's 4 of them, so that means they're worth 5 points of your overall average each. And then you have 8 movie reviews, which is also 20%, and I'll go through those in a moment, and we'll talk about the films you'll watch. And so you'll review movies, and then you'll give a summary response, which is only 2 paragraphs, to documentaries. And so there's 6 documentaries that you'll give a paragraph summary and a paragraph response to those 6. And then 3 exams. At the end of every module you have an exam, and those are 20% as well. All of that adds up to 100%. So this isn't based on total points, so hopefully you are able to understand the distinction between a class based on points versus weighted categories. So 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, so 2 times 5, that's 10, so 100%. All work's going to be due at the end of the module. If you turn in something after the close of the module, it is 5% deducted per day. And then you can't turn anything in after the end of the course because the course is over. and nothing can be accepted after the close of the course. A little bit of discussion here about the textbook that you're using, and mostly just explaining a little bit about the inclusive access, which I've already covered. You can upgrade your text to a paper text, but the ebook is fundamentally required. You have to have that, which is covered in the cost of your tuition, so that shouldn't be a problem. And then technology requirements: you should have a computer with an internet connection. It should be fast-ish. I mean, not too much, but you are going to be watching some videos, and so maybe buffering to get them to load. And then, you should know how to use a computer. I mean, that's kind of, you'd think that would be just plain and everybody would know that, but, and then maybe you're in this class and you're not a computer expert and you don't even know how to really use a computer that well. We'll learn together and I'll help you as much as I can. You got to start somewhere, so maybe this will be your chance. But having some computer literacy skills is going to go a long way when it's an online course. And then communication, I've already talked about that. Course policies: don't plagiarize. That means if you use somebody else's information, try to pass it off as your own, that is dishonest and is zero tolerance in higher education. You can get a 0 in the course, 0 on the assignment. You could get deeper trouble than that. It can go on your permanent record. So a little bit about the honesty and ethics of the course. ADA statement: if you are a student that has a disability and you need some sort of accommodation, you know who you are, then you must also go through the academic, process of getting accommodations and letting me know. So you would know about that if that was the case for you. And then FERPA is a weird word that basically comes down to protecting your privacy, any exclusively academic information, personal information about you, other than the obvious, directory information. So I have to be very careful not to break your confidence and mention anything, and just keep that in mind. So that also means that restricts how we can communicate as well, because I have to know that I'm talking to you. So the best way to do that is through your email. I can't talk about grades through text messaging or anything like that, because it could be anybody. And if I got an email from a different email address than your school email address, and I don't know who it is, it could be your crazy ex trying to figure out where you are, and I would be in violation of your right to privacy if I somehow said, so-and-so hasn't been in class lately. So it does inhibit how we can communicate, but for good reasons. Now here's our course timeline, and these dates will be accurate for the first set of people that see this video, because these will be different dates moving forward. So right now this is the Summer 2 2020 session that I'm preparing this for on the new Ultra platform. So this will be the video that will go along with all of my courses for 1302. So if you are seeing those dates there and you're confused, you're not in the summer of 2020 anymore. This is the future. So that's for those who it's true. And for the rest of you who are hearing this for the first time, these will be the dates we follow in this term. But Module 1, I see a typo already, so that's good. I'll probably fix that. Anyway, so I've broken it down by chapters, and then the assignments that you'll be given, the films you'll watch, etc., etc. Okay, all of that is going to be in the end of your syllabus. Okay, but that is also the same information that is found, let's see, in these module folders, but most importantly on the home page. So let's go back to the home page. So all that information you can see there for every folder that is for each module. So let's go back to the start course here, make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh yes, of course. So after you look at the syllabus, you're going to take this short quiz, and that quiz is just going to ask you to agree with things that you have to agree with. I think one of them mentions something about proctored exams. I'm not doing that currently, so just know that in some circumstances you will be required to use a proctor, and that could cost you money. So that's one of the questions in there, but it's basically just like you understand the syllabus and you are going to be honest and do well and follow the rules and etc. So you want to agree with all the questions there. Part of the importance of that is to take attendance, in a sense. Like, it lets us know on the first day you saw the syllabus, you acknowledged the syllabus by taking that agreement quiz, and you saw the first discussion, and you participated, and you got your first post in on that first day. Okay, that proves you've attended the course, and so when we certify our rosters, we can verify your attendance. There's also some helpful resources here. If you're having trouble, you need some technical support, you need some academic support, proctoring, like I just mentioned. There's some information about that found here. Oh wait, there it goes. Yeah, so you will have to be logged in order to see that. So anyway, and then at the bottom, it's my CV, which stands for Curriculum Vitae. This is required that I posted there. It tells you a little bit about what I've been doing for the last 10 years as a teacher and scholar and student myself, etc. So not really very important for you, but if you want to look at that, you are more than welcome to. And then, yeah, so let's go back to the home page. So all that start course here, that's day one activity. So in this case, that'll be Monday, July 13th, 2020 for you first set of students. For everyone after this term, it's whatever our first day of class is together. You go in that start course here folder, look at the syllabus, take the quiz, do the discussion. Day one. Also, day one is the beginning of the module. So the way I'm doing this, and I've done it a lot of different ways. A lot of times I might tell you, like, well, chapter 19, you need to be doing that on day one and day two. Okay, I mean, I could do that. But what I've decided I think works best, and I just kind of tell you, like, look, at the end of this module, we move to the next module. So we have these sort of milestones, so to speak. You're accountable for everything that's required in that module time. So in this summer course, I think the first module is like 8 days. 12 days. And then the second module is like 8 days, which is significantly a shorter module anyway. And then you have 12 days to complete the last module. And so that's pretty much when each one of those milestones where the module ends, that's when I'm going to go and I'm going to see if you completed the work, and I'm going to grade you, and I'm going to enter zeros if you haven't, and then anything you submit after the close of a module, you'll receive a 5% deduction. So what does that entail for you? Well, a lot of reading. I mean, the course is built upon the textbook, so you're going to read on the ebook, and then there's some accompanying slides, and I'll show you that kind of help you through the material and give you a point of reference for kind of the highlights of the text chapter that you're reading. Now that brings me to another point. these are in PowerPoint files, so PPT. So there are a couple of options here. I think you should have access. If you're a student today, you basically have access to Microsoft Office. You just have to figure out how to get a hold of it. But it kind of comes with every institution I teach for offers it in some way or another. But you can also use what's called OpenOffice, which is free, and you just go to openoffice.org and you can open PowerPoint files there. But you can also go online and just Google convert PPT to PDF, and there's lots of online conversion programs where you just upload the file, download it as PDF, and then you can open it in your browser. Okay, so each chapter has an associated select of files. You want to see that, don't you? I bet. Let's open one then. Okay. So yeah, this is what it's going to look like, depending on what software you use, and it just kind of breaks down the kind of highlights of the chapter and things like that. Okay. So use that to help you when you take your reading quiz and when you complete any information activities on McGraw-Hill. So chapter 19 is all about the Protestant Reformation. So to go along with this, you will be studying, we're going to watch the film Luther, which is not a bad movie in its own right. It's actually a pretty good movie, but it has a lot of great sort of historical accuracy. You know, we can get into the debate of how historically accurate movies ever are, which, you know, they get some things right, some things wrong, but this is a pretty accurate portrayal of the life of Martin Luther, although they make him look really good. I won't get into the details. I like the guy. I've been to Lutherstadt, Wittenberg, where he lived and taught and preached and everything else, but he was also an anti-Semite at the end of his life, and yeah, it's kind of not a big secret either. And you know, so the good, the bad, and the ugly. But you'll watch the Luther movie, and then you will write a movie review. And so let's see, if you open these guidelines here, you will find this handy dandy Duke University guide that I've borrowed because it's excellent and gives you a lot of great tips. And so your movie reviews are going to follow these five paragraph outline: introduction, plot summary, description, analysis, conclusion, and evaluation. And so just whatever it's saying that you should include in each one of those points, those 5 points, that's what you should be talking about in your film review, your movie review. Okay, and the way you submit that is by clicking here. There's a rubric you can access that explains basically how you're being graded: introduction, plot summary, description, analysis, conclusion, evaluation. And then, you know, if you didn't do all that great, you'd get 10 points for that category, or, you know, pretty good but not great. And then I can give you feedback as well based on each of those categories, kind of explain why you may have lost points, or maybe you did a super stellar job and you got 20 points down the board for each category. Then you would have 100 on that. Not impossible. It could happen. What I want to make sure you do is that you submit using Browse My Computer. So every assignment you submit in this class, that it's like a written assignment, which is basically just either going to be the film reviews or the summary response for the documentaries, you're going to browse my computer, upload a paper, literally, and you're going to agree to these plagiarism rules. And yeah, once you've done that, you'll click submit, and I'll have your assignment, then I'll grade it. Don't type it in the comments. I've seen that. It happens. Don't click write submission. I wish I could just disable that altogether, but I can't. Browse my computer, and the acceptable files it'll tell you are these files, but I'm really just interested in .doc or .docx, which is a Microsoft Word file, because those are the most compatible files with everything. Probably because Microsoft owns the world secretly. Okay, so here we have how to do a movie review, okay, and submit that assignment. If you also want to reference those guidelines, you can do that over here on the left. Movie review guidelines on the left menu, and then the same handbook guide that I showed you from Duke University you find here as well. While we're bouncing around on this left menu, the same is true for how to do the documentary summary response, which is laid out here. It explains to you 2 paragraphs. That's all I'm looking for. 1 paragraph that summarizes, 1 paragraph that gives your own personal response. More than that, I'm not interested. Just 2 paragraphs. Don't go overkill. Don't go underkill and have 1 paragraph. I need 2 distinct, clear paragraphs. But very straightforward assignment. Very easy. And there'll be 6 of the documentary response, summary response article or essays. Okay. So chapter 20, same thing. You're going to watch another movie. This will be your second movie review. And that movie is Silence, which is a great movie. It's based on a novel by Shishaku Endo, a Japanese author, writing about the Jesuits in Japan. And so the reason this kind of fits with everything is because chapter 19 is about the Protestant Reformation. Chapter 20 is about the Catholic response to the Protestant Reformation, where they kind of amped up their Catholicism in sort of a pushback against the Protestants in more ways than one. But nonetheless, what happens here is the Jesuits go around the world and begin to, really push colonization, conversion. And the Jesuit priests suffer some serious persecution in Japan, and it's just a really harrowing film. Honestly, it's kind of difficult to watch. But anyway, so movie review for that. Difficult in the sense, maybe you're wondering why I'm saying it's difficult. It's hard to watch this because some of the priests denounce their faith to save their life, and that's kind of the contention of the film. And then so kind of raises this ethical kind of question, like, do you sell out to save your own skin? And then they want to come back to the faith in a sense, and so some people are like, no, you can't come back. So it's difficult to just watch that dynamic, to see people wrestling with what's most important to them, and then kind of suffer persecution for what's most important, and then to sort of recant so that they can, live. And you never know what you're going to do till you're in a situation, and you have to make those kinds of decisions. And then anyway, so for me it's difficult to watch the movie. It's kind of a sad film. It's got Liam Neeson in it, and he's going to also show up in another very difficult film to watch, Schindler's List, somewhere later down in the course. Anyway, kind of consistent for him as an actor, doing films that are sometimes hard to watch. Movie reviews, and then you'll do you'll write a summary, your first summary response in chapter 23 about the secret life of Isaac Newton, which is also where we'll have our second discussion, and we'll talk about science and faith. The other thing I was going to say is, like I had mentioned very early on in the video, you can get to all of those discussions by clicking here as well. And so you'll see every one of the discussions that are found in the module folders are also accessible through this link over here on the left that says discussion board. But I recommend progress through the module. That's the way to do it. Don't just click the links on the left, and it's kind of a process to, I think, work through the flow of the class by going through the module folders. Okay. Then at the end of the module, you'll have an exam in Module 2. Again, this is all to be completed by the end of the module, by that due date. We're going to watch some great films. Amadeus, it's about Mozart. Creation is about the life of Charles Darwin. A 1987 classic with some great appearances from some well-known actors that you may recognize. Uncle Tom's Cabin, this is a good movie based on the novel by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And then your third discussion will be about this artist Delacroix and his controversial painting. No need to get into it all really at this point, but and then you'll take an exam, and all that has to be done for that module by the end of the module, by whatever that due date is. And then Module 3, you can watch a documentary and respond to Karl Marx documentary, and you're going to write a summary response, another summary response on Nietzsche, summary response Frank Lloyd Wright. These are all documentaries. Then you'll do another movie review. This is an interesting film too. It's about sort of beginnings of psychoanalysis with Jung and Freud, and and this is one of those kind of films too where it's like overall it's not like a bad movie, and it sort of earns its rating completely about like a few sexual scenes. So brace yourself for that. I don't think there's even any profanity else in the movie, but a lot of times British films are like that, I think, and maybe it's a European thing, I don't know. You watch a movie and you're like, this seems almost wholesome, we could bring the whole family in, and then boom, it's like, whoa, hey, that kind of came out of nowhere. So there's some of that, so brace yourself. Schindler's List, I think that just that entire movie is brace yourself. That's why we're watching it. And then let's see here. Oh, and then you'll write a movie review on the life, the theory of everything, which is about Stephen Hawking, who just passed away within the last year, I think. Anyway, it wasn't too long ago. And then your discussion, final exam, is just covering Module 3. So that's just a quick run through that covers all the kinds of assignments you'll do, where you'll find the information about how to do them. I think the only other thing I could tell you that might be helpful is if you, almost all the films are embedded in, these are my copies from my Google Drive, and so it may tell you like it'll only play 15 minutes. So in that case, you'll have to download the film and watch it on your computer. So let's see, like if you click on this might let you play the whole thing. Sometimes it gets quirky, but if it does anything weird and it's not playing, you can always pop out and it'll take you to this. And then in the upper right corner here, there's a download thing that's actually outside of my screen capture window that I'm using, but you probably know how to download things on the internet. So there's a download button there at the top right corner. If it's giving you issues, just download it, watch it. Okay, all right, well, which I think it's probably going to give you issues playing it embedded like this. It's already doing weird things, but anyway, that's the way to solve that problem. Let's click this pop out link, and then otherwise that's it. And then all the other films are from YouTube, and I think there's something off of another platform, Sony, Crackle, or something. I think Silence Film is on that platform. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But if you do have any issues with anything, just let me know, and I will do my best to help you get things going. So yeah, that's the course overview, kind of how to navigate Blackboard, how to get your ebook, how to reach me, where to find the syllabus. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything else to say at this time, so I think that's probably sufficient. If you have questions, you can always reach out to me and get a hold of me, and I'll be more than happy to respond. So I'll see you on Blackboard.